Hey, welcome to our June World of Equine News Report. I'm Wayne Williams, your host, presented here on Speaking of Horses TV. Glad to have you join us. You know, the Kentucky Horse Council's Livestock Investigation Level 1 training will be held June 25th to the 27th at Morehead State University. Now, the course will be low cost and open to animal control officers, sheriffs, and other Kentucky law enforcement officials, and prosecutors as well. Livestock investigation training is offered by the Kentucky Horse Council in partnership with the Kentucky Cattlemen's Association. The three-day class will include hands-on horse learning and training by the Kentucky Horse Council and an expert in Kentucky animal abuse statutes. In addition, information on body conditions, scoring, and handling cattle and goats will also be provided. Professionals from area universities are also scheduled to provide guest instruction on refeeding the starving horse and veterinary care. For more information on this, contact the Kentucky Horse Council at 859-367-0509 or email daisy@kentuckyhorse.org. Well, you know, we were recently in southern Indiana at the Midwest Trail Ride. We called up to clinician and author Mary Morrow. Here's our interview from Norman, Indiana, with Mary. Watch. We're still here, Midwest Trail Ride, and right now one of the clinicians that's been here all Memorial Day weekend is Mary Morrow. And Mary, you do quite a bit of stuff in and out of these trail rides and the like, and tell us about coming here to Midwest Trail Ride.
Oh, I come to Midwest about every year. I really enjoy it. I come to do a little clinic. This year we did some saddle fitting, some pain assessment, and we did a cowboy challenge. And the cowboy challenge is always fun. A lot of pictures get out there, a lot of flags going. So we just come to have fun and try to educate people on better ways to take care of their horses. We talked a little bit about personality. I have a book, Know You, Know Your Horse. And we talked a little bit about personality and how to train through that personality and why that personality will affect how your horse will act on a trail. So that's what we did this weekend.
Well, there's two round pens out here, so you got places to work. There's the big field where they do the challenge, and during this show there'll be footage of some of the challenge, so you can see many of the things you can do and enjoy while you're here at the Midwest Trail Ride. And having the clinicians, the challenge, Saturday night band, all those things is, is really great. There's, you might run into a cowboy poet, who knows.
Right.
So you've been coming down here how long now?
Oh, the last 5 years for the most part, and then when I was a kid we used to come down here many years ago. So
well, I know there's people here from probably 5 or 6 states that gather here, and it's a beautiful setting, a beautiful camp. I love the fact that the campsite's back right up to your stalls.
Right, I love that too. And they've got some nice little cabins over there if you don't have a place to sleep in your trailer, which is me. They've got some nice little cabins over there that have got some bunk beds. They have heat and air conditioning, and I said that's a priority.
Yeah.
So those are really nice. And again, they have stalls right next to them. The stalls are nice. They're clean. They always have shavings here you can use, so you don't have to bring your own shavings. So it's just a really wonderful place to come. The trails are wonderful. I have to say we were so blessed this weekend with wonderful weather.
Oh, yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It's a fun place to come to, and there's always something to learn and somebody new to meet. In fact, I came down from northern Indiana, and I met my friends that are from Kentucky, and so it was really nice to have kind of a friendship get-together.
Well, how do people contact you about the book?
You can go to my website. If you go to Facebook, you can put in Know You, Know Your Horse, and you'll go to Facebook. You can also go to my website, which is RideSafe2Day, the number 2, today.com.
That's great. Mary Morrow is one of the clinicians that's been here this weekend at the Midwest Trail Ride in beautiful southern Indiana, about a half hour south of Bloomington, Indiana, in the Hoosier National Forest. So you got clinics, you got great trail riding all through the forest. You can ride longer than your posterity can handle it.
Sure. Yeah, I hadn't been riding a whole lot this year, and I felt it well today. So yeah, but it was a blast.
It was. Mary, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne.
Speaking of horses, we're here at the Midwest Trail Ride. Hey, we'll be right back. A lot more coming on our June report. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people who have made Speaking of Horses TV possible. King Barnes, custom designed and built to your specs, crafted by experienced craftsmen just for you. Visit King Barnes for your class barn. Revitavet, light therapy products to assist in faster healing of your horse. Use the light pads to warm up muscles before riding. It's innovative, reliable, and you get top results. Revitavet. And a thank you to Just Dump It, easy and safe handles for your wheelbarrow. Save your back with this dump system, easy to install and use. Check out Just Dump It. And Hoosier Horse Trailers, crafted and built in northern Indiana. Unique designs and factory-crafted living interiors. Amish craftsmen at their best. That's Hoosier Horse Trailers. Thank you for your support of Speaking of Horses. You know, the Old Salem Farm Spring Horse Shows came to a successful conclusion in May with their highlight event, the $100,000 Empire State Grand Prix, presented by the Kincaid Group. Merrill Lynch. Now, McLean Ward rode to first and second place with H.H. Cannavaro and H.H. Carlos Z, both owned by Double H Farms, over a prestigious field of horses and riders. After 2 weeks of top finishes, Dara Kinney won the $20,000 Leading Jumper Rider Award presented by Houlihan Lawrence. Today's competition concluded 2 great weeks of equestrian sport in North Salem and Old Salem Farms, and they'd like to thank the exhibitors, sponsors, and staff for their support in this May event. Speaking of Horses TV, we'll have live internet coverage from the Ranch Sorting National Championships. They're in Fort Worth, Texas, June 10th to the 14th. You can watch over 7,000 teams compete for well over $100,000 in prize money. The RSNC, or Ranch Sorting National Championships, will be live on Speaking of Horses TV. You can watch it by going to our website, speakingofhorses.com. The Kentucky Trail Ride Association is very active in supporting horseback trail riding across Kentucky as well as across the USA. Now here's an interview with officers of the Kentucky Trail Ride Association. Watch. We're here at the Midwest Trail Ride. We're having a great time, and we're with members of the Kentucky Trail Ride Association. And introduce yourselves.
I'm Ann Tencher, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm Jane Proctor from Bedford, Kentucky.
I'm Marla Greenberg from Bedford, Kentucky.
Well, we're here, and we're right in front of the Outpost, the store, where all the women's fashions and all this stuff is located. But we're having a really good time here at the Midwest Trail Ride. So tell us a little bit about your association, and then the fact that not only do you support all the trail riding in Kentucky, but trail riding in general, and you love to come up here in southern Indiana to the Midwest Trail Ride.
Well, the Kentucky Trail Riders Association has about 56 members right now. We're located in mainly central Kentucky, and we promote trail riding among state parks. And one of our planned events was to come up here to Midwest and have a weekend camp out over Memorial Day. And we just love it here. The people are so nice. The facility is clean, and they take care of our needs. And the food is great, and we're going to keep coming back.
Well, that's great. It is. You know, you go in and we'll tell you, it is a mess hall. You get your meals. You don't have to cook. You just go in, and I generally come to these and overeat.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard to resist all that good food.
So I know there's a lot of good trail riding around Kentucky, but, do you guys trail ride like every other week or just whenever you can, or what?
Well, I'll let Jane tell you about that. She's our event chairperson.
Okay.
We are trying to plan a weekend trail ride once a month and a day ride once a month too, along with other activities, educational activities. We partner with the Cooperative Extension Service quite a bit for educational seminars.
Okay. So, what's one of your fun experiences here at the Midwest?
Oh, I have been up here for Halloween, and they put together a scary village type thing, and you go through there, and they have all these people dressed up in goblins and witches, and they jump out at you and just scare the scare the
Bejeebers
whatever,
out of
the
you, yeah.
bejeebers out of you.
I'll clean it up for you.
And that's always so much fun. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. Well, it is. And you can ride here pretty much well into November and start back in March or so because you're far enough south. For all of you northern viewers, you can come down here and get a longer riding season, right?
That's true. That's true.
So, anyway, when are you coming back to Midwest?
Probably in the fall because it's cooler and they have a wonderful planned Halloween ride. And it's all inclusive, your meals included, camping, the riding. It's just a great time.
Well, I know you support trail riding in Kentucky. It's the Kentucky Trail Ride Association. I know you also are a big supporter of just trail riding in general. There's no better way to have a good time than be out camping with your horses. I agree with you.
Absolutely. It's just so much fun here. Our horses seem to enjoy themselves too. You just know it. You take them out on the trail, their ears are perked up, they're ready to go.
You're right. Horses enjoy the trip too, and the dogs. Everybody's got a dog, you know.
And also with the Kentucky Trail Riders Association, we're always looking for new members, new activities. We have a Facebook, and we are also on the website, Kentucky Trail Riders Association, KTRA.
Great.
Join us.
We're here at the Midwest Trail Ride in southern Indiana. We're having a ball, and stay with us. We got a lot more coming right here on Speaking of Horses. Well, the Devon Horse Show and Country Fair welcomes another year of world-class show jumping competition in the Dixon Oval. Open jumper competitions began the evening of May 27th and continued through Saturday, May 31st. Devon will play host to the top show jumping riders in North America. You know, they compete every year at one of the most historical and renowned shows in the United States. The $100,000 Grand Prix of Devon also serves as the first leg of the $200,000 Taylor Harris Insurance Services Triple Crown Challenge, which awards $200,000 to the rider who can master 3 of the East Coast's toughest Grand Prix: the $100,000 Grand Prix of Devon, the $250,000 FTI Hampton Classic Grand Prix, and the $250,000 National Horse Show Grand Prix. The rider must win all 3 classes on the same horse in the same season. Hey, we got a lot more coming. We're going to be right back. Stay with us. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine people that have made Speaking of Horses possible. Source Nutrition, micronutrients for your horse or dog, developed and harvested from the ocean on the Maine coast. Years of research and development for the best supplements available. Source Nutrition. Equessentials, horse conditioning and prep products developed by Dr. Tom Tweeton. Totally safe, improve your horse's coat and health. That's Equessentials. Echo Green Grid, stop mud and uneven wet ground. Echo Green Grid installs easily to give a great base for footing. Use it in the paddock around the water tank or use it in the barn. That's Echo Green Grid. And a thank you to Fly Predators. Fly Predators from Spalding Labs. Control flies and fly larvae the easy way. Use Fly Predators and flies will be gone. Thank you to these people who support Speaking of Horses. Out of Shelburne, Vermont, and the Morgan Horse Association, is your registered Morgan horse registered in your name? Have you forgotten to transfer your Morgan into ownership? For one time only, the Morgan Horse Association is holding a summer sale on Morgan horse transfers. Effective June 1st through August 31st of 2014, AMHA is offering the low fee of $30 per horse to transfer all your paperwork and get it up to date. You don't even have to be an AMHA member to get this great price break. A 75% savings for non-members. Have you had a Morgan for years and not updated the records? Well, that's okay. We'll still transfer your Morgan for $30. Now, why is it important to transfer your Morgan? You increase the value of your Morgan. It ensures your Morgan horse a place in Morgan history. It ensures its future as a registered Morgan and a better life if you ever have to part with your horse. Keeping ownership records up to date is important for the liability issues that might arise and allows you to show your Morgan at Morgan shows under your ownership. Your name will be printed in the program, announced in the winner's circle, and all transfers must be postmarked between June 1 and August 31 to qualify for this transaction reduction fee. Be sure and act today. You know, the Coalition of State Horse Councils is preparing to convene in Washington, D.C. June 22nd. Our spring meeting is traditionally held during the American Horse Council's annual meeting and National Issues Forum in Washington this year, June 22nd to June 25th. The Coalition of State Horse Councils hosts a welcome reception for all forum attendees on Sunday evening, June 22nd. We'll be in session all day with our committees reporting on business, so it's a great way to end the day. All of the annual meeting and National Issues Forum activities will be held at the Washington Court Hotel, just 3 blocks from the Capitol building. If you have not already made your plans to be represented, we invite you to look at the American Horse Council website, that's horsecouncil.org, for more details on forum registration, hotel reservations. Make your plans so that a representative of your state horse council can be with us. We want your state to be with us, since it's time and place all gathering and take a look at policy. Get involved, exchange ideas, make our collective voices heard. Hey, speaking of horses, is going to be in Utah, just outside Park City at Oakley. We are going to have live streaming TV coverage on June 13th and 14th from the horse sale. That's a performance ranch horse sale along with a ranch horse competition. So be sure and join us on our website for that at speakingofhorses.com. Well, you know, the Center for America's First Horse in Vermont held an open house June 7th, raised money to support their efforts. They're a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to enrich the lives of the rare Spanish Mustang and its rich history. The open house was held in Clay Hill, Vermont, featured activities, free demos, education, along with some fun for all the kids. You can learn more about them by contacting them at the Center for America's First Horse.org. Hey, we'll be right back. We got a lot more coming. Stay with us. We at Speaking of Horses would like to thank some of the people who helped to make Speaking of Horses TV possible. A big thank you to Equine Clot. Equine Clot is a wonderful product. Carry it in your saddlebag, put it in your first aid kit, wrap it on an equine wound. It immediately promotes clotting and is a great first aid tool. Thank you to Equine Clot. And to EquestraSafe, a complete line of equestrian riding products for trail, for arena, for wherever. From reflective vests, reflective headgear, tapes, signage, everything you need to ride safely and to be safe with your horse is available at EquestraSafe.com. Check them out. Thanks to all of the fine people that make Speaking of Horses TV possible. You know, we recently caught up with the Mountain Pleasure Horse Association. We were on a trail ride, so were they. Here's our visit. Watch this. We are here at the Midwest Trail Ride in beautiful southern Indiana. Hoosier National Forest, having a ball. I'm with Robin with the Mountain Pleasure Horse Association. That's Kentucky's heritage, right?
Yes, it is.
So, first of all, how you doing here at the trail ride? Having a good time?
We're having a great time, thanks.
Yeah, it's you trail ride. They cook the meals for you.
Oh, many delicious
all that.
meals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about what brings you here to trail ride in southern Indiana at the Midwest Trail Ride with your Mountain Pleasure horses.
Okay. We've been coming for several years. We're good friends with Mary Morrow, who puts on the event, a couple of the events up here. And we're here to represent the Mountain Pleasure Horse Association. The Mountain Pleasure horse is the oldest gaited breed of horse in North America. 180 traceable years. Dr. Gus Cothran of the University of Kentucky did DNA testing several years ago, back in the 1980s, and determined that the mountain pleasure horse is actually the parent breed of all other gaited horses in North America. So we're basically the father breed of the Tennessee walking horse, the American saddlebred, the Rocky Mountains, and the Kentucky Mountains. Pretty much any gaited horse that came out of North America had to have come out of us at some point. We are rare and endangered. There's only about 5,000 of them in the world, but we're real proud of the 5,000 we got.
Well, they're a smooth riding horse, and we want to mention that, you know, if you're having a problem with your back or with anything like that, if you want to continue to ride at a smooth pace, you can get on a mountain pleasure horse and have that nice, smooth, easy gait.
Absolutely.
You don't bounce and jog around, right?
No bounce and jog, no bounce and jog. Another actual claim for fame for the mountain pleasure horse is we're one of the few horse breeds that do not have a show circuit. Now, that can be good and bad. It's bad in terms of we don't have any big show barns out there, so it's hard to find a good mountain pleasure horse because there's not any big breeders. But the really good part is there's no big show barns out there, so we don't breed show horses. So the mountain pleasure horse is still basically the same horse that it was 180 years ago, which was a trail horse, which is what we breed. So,
which is why you're here at the Midwest Trail Ride, because it's a great trail horse.
It's a great
You also
trail
do a little thing called drill team. What's the drill team?
We do. We do drill team. We've actually been doing drill team now for about 16 years, and we have a youth squad and an adult squad. We do a lot of demonstrations. We, of course, have seen you at Briarfest over the years. We also go to Equine Fair, and we take these mountain pleasure horses out. We're at the Kentucky Horse Park quite a bit. The youth squad, I'm real proud to say, they've been either the state champions or reserve champions for 10 of the last 15 years, and they've been the national champions 4 years. So the mountain pleasure horse ain't too shoddy a drill team either.
No, they're not. And Robin, we thank you, and I'll tell you, it's a wonderful ride, mountain pleasure horse, and this is a wonderful place to ride them. This is the Midwest Trail Ride, Norman, Indiana. You're about an hour, well, half hour south of Bloomington, Indiana, and right in the nice hills of southern Indiana, Hoosier National Forest. And we're just happy to be here with Speaking of Horses at the Midwest Trail Ride and with Robin and the Mountain Pleasure Horses. And we'll see you in Briarfest.
We will. See you in July. Thank
you.
Thank you.
The U.S. Pony Club will host its festival and trade show July 14th to the 21st at the Kentucky Horse Park. Over 4,000 Pony Club members will attend and not only enjoy the festival and the vendors and all the fun, but compete for championships in many categories on their ponies. For more information, check out the U.S. Pony Club on the web for all the details. The Festival and Trade Fair, July 14th to the 21st at Kentucky Horse Park. Well, you know, Speaking of Horses TV will be going on the Story and Lost Pass Cabin Ride. That's in southern Indiana, leaving from the Midwest Trail Ride grounds. Now, this August 16th to the 18th, 2014 are the dates. We ride, we stay out on the trail in wonderful tents with wooden floors. You can ride for 3 great days. So if you want to join us, please sign up. It's August 16th to the 18th. Go to MidwestTrailRide.com for all the details and join us on the ride. Here's a promo and some nice information about this story ride. Well, you know, one of the things that they do out of the Midwest Trail Ride here is 2 or 3 times a year they have 2 different rides. One is called Lost Cabin Pass Ride. There is a campground a ways from here. You ride to Lost Cabin Pass. Spend the night there, get entertained, get meals, and then ride back the next day. So it's an overnight ride. They also do what they call the Story Ride. Story is a small little village or town here in southern Indiana. Very quaint, a beautiful inn, cabins to sleep in. They ride out of here. You ride 1 day to Lost Cabin Pass, spend a night there. You ride the next day to Story. You spend the night there and get a wonderful gourmet dinner in their restaurant. And then you ride back on the 3rd day to the Midwest Trail Ride. So you can do either the Lost Cabin Pass ride or the Story Ride about 2 or 3 times a year. So you need to check out the Midwest Trail Ride website and learn about those other rides as well.
All right, we'll do a little cowboy music for you here. Daniel Hobbs, my buddy Roger Mills, and always doing a lot of cowboy songs out at our camp. And one of our favorites personally is called the Prairie Lullaby. kind of paints a picture of a true cowboy way of life. When shadows creep across the hills and purple streaks the sky, and cattle bunch up closer for the night, that's when you hear the whippoorwill start singing sweet and high. That's when you hear the prairie lullaby, and the breeze is playing, the branches swaying, and somewhere coyote cries. It's a prairie lullaby. Now, when later on the sun is gone and the campfire fights the dark, and a million stars are twinkling in the sky, that's when you'll see a cowboy reaching for his old guitar. That's when you hear the prairie lullaby, and the breeze is playing, the branches swaying, somewhere coyote cries. It's a prairie lullaby. It's a prairie lullaby.
Well, you know, speaking of horses, we'll be in Briarfest at Lexington, Kentucky. That's July the 13th and 14th and 15th. And we invite you to join us for Briarfest. Well, that's our June report. Join us next month for our July report. I'm your host, Wayne Williams, and we'll see you down the trail.